Well, I had published a collected poems, and there's a sort of tombstone feel about that. So I thought I'd better write another book fairly soon. I think, though, that one part of writing this book was getting things said. I'm very old, I'm 80, and so there are things that I feel I should get said before I'm finished. I'm afraid most of the themes are disasters, the disasters of war, illness. I wasn't too bothered by writing about COVID, but one of these poems was written about the aftermath of getting COVID myself. I did want to write about historical themes, like the fate of Tomás MacDonagh and Muriel Gifford. I wanted to imagine the plight of refugees, even though this was before the big refugee crisis started. I wanted to write about Irish emigration and the music that goes with it. So those are themes, all right. A number of the poems were written in response to requests. There's a poem about Milton and a poem about Andrew Marvell, or both of them are based on work by these poets, even though they may not show too much of that influence immediately. I think it was the poem about Milton, where I was trying to deal with the fact that both that I love Milton and that I abominate his views about most things, women, Ireland, the Bible, and yet I had this fantasy that Milton meets Mozart in purgatory, and at the end of the poem there appears the figure of the wonderful Cherubino in The Marriage of Figaro, who's always sung, of course, by a woman, and there's a complete fusion of the male and female aspects, and I thought how much that would annoy him. So it was quite a challenging poem to write, but I got a great deal of fun out of it. As I said, I'm very old. I'm still carrying with me the reading that I did in my teens, in particular the reading of Yeats, what I was learning from him all that time, just about words, about their weight, the way they move, the way they stand in a line. So that's a huge influence. Of course, later I read a great deal more. I read a great deal in translation, so I would put Constantin Cavafy as a big influence, but also in other languages, reading especially Dante, reading the 19th century French poets, Baudelaire, Verlaine, Rimbaud. Those were the influences of my youth, and they've stayed with me. Writing process, I'm a great one for waiting. I wait until a subject really bothers me, and then I wait again until I find a way that I can get it into focus, which can be quite a problem. For example, in just 10 years ago, my husband was very ill, and the cat was also very ill. And I suddenly got this idea, you cannot compare things one to another, even though the cat may be a lesser figure in your life than your husband. You can't say the cat doesn't matter. And I tried to get that into a number of these poems. There's one that starts, "Nothing can be compared to anything else." It's wonderful. I think anything like this gives you a window on a possible new audience who haven't already been bored, who aren't already saying, oh, she's talking about nuns again. So that's a real bonus. It also gives you the opportunity of running into other poets, some of whom you won't have met already. And that's a really nice thing to happen. And of course, one's publisher is pleased.